Evening Super League. Sunday night has arrived. Game week 21. It's very, to quote the film Sexy Beast, it's so fucking hot. Let me know. I've got the fan on in the background. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear it in the background, and I'll switch it off. But fuck me, I'm melting. One of the joys of not having co-coms is I can sit here in next to nothing and do this because I'm fucking sweating buckets. I'm not gonna lie, lads. Let's while I wait to hear whether the fan is a problem, I will go through some of the fundamentals. We've got 6 games remaining of the regular season. Haggis look for the world to all but be there. Fulchester should be there as well. Although whether they finish second very much depends on their form. Even Dimble. No noise from the fan, all good. Cheers, Ian. Appreciate that. Fan is fine, can't hear it. Thank you, Tato. Appreciate it. It means I can cool down a little bit. But yeah, the rest of it, if you look from Churchtown in third with Dudley as well and Loco, all on 30 points. Just 2 points separate them from Devils, who are level with Halls on 28, so that anyone could be outside dotted line. Bostock, big win for them last time out. They're within 2 points of the dotted line themselves and 4 points of those 3 clubs I mentioned. Ledisford and Gazelles as well, still within touch and distance. It's starting to look difficult for Astor and Dragons, but they are certainly not. Ryan! It's the incessant wanking which is putting me off. How are you, Ryan? Hope all's well. Good to see you back in amongst the chat. I don't know how much attention you've been paying since retiring, but I'm pleased to know the league remains as tight and as interesting as you left it. I'm also on late. Tonight's fixtures, I know Greavesy has to go to bed, so he wants to be early. So why can't I see Loco? So Dudley Loco will probably be first, ghost games permitting. Mac is hammered. Jens wants to be early as well, so I'll try and do it that it's Dudley Loco, Gazelles, Halls, Dragons, Fulchester, if I remember, and then anyone else in the order as they come. So let's get straight on. In fact, the little announcement, it's nothing too major. But as this is the last season on this save before we mix it all up again next year, I reiterated time and time again to make sure you were very specific with your choices of 24 going into the remainder of the campaign, and the reason is thus. Dudley Loco is where I want to start. So if we go to Loco, after tonight, every single player in every single reserve squad is going to be made available for transfer. You don't have to negotiate with anybody. You just tell me if you want to put a bid in. It'll be a nominal fee for every single player. So, for example, someone might want Pancaro. 5 teams might want Pancaro. I'll put 5 bids in. It's up to the player where he goes. If you sign him, he has to go into your 24. And someone else will drop into your reserves, but those players will not be transfer listed. So say, for example, Steve wants to sign Pancaro, he will go into the 24, someone from Dudley Hill will drop into the reserves, and but he will be available going forward. You do have shitloads of resi, so I will be showing everyone's reserve teams as we go through it, just in case there's 1 or 2 players who might get a look in and up their rating before the next redraft. So have a good look at the Loco reserves here, and if you do want to make a bid, let me know within the next 24 hours. As for the team tonight, they beat Ledisford last time out. I thought you might like that, Greavesy. You love a good transfer. Yes, Alf, you are potentially going to be one to lose out significantly with the amount of reserve swaps you did. Everyone else was very heeded the warning to make sure they put their best 24s out. You went wild and changed everybody. Anyway, Loco. Stick with the same formation. Alpha, I'm coming for the Astor boys. Anyone who doesn't get bid on gets released. Pretty much, Ryan. Pretty much. Anyway, Peruzzi's back in goal. The influential Petit misses out. Makaleli is in. Other than that, it is unchanged. The only reserve swap from memory saw Campway's come back into the 24, and he gets a place on the bench. Let's go to Dudley Hill then, who made a couple of changes. Inzaghi got promoted. Cahill got promoted after absolutely excelling in the Continental Cup. 6 goals in 5 games. He was very impressive for Dudley Hill in that competition. And Oliveira also promoted, which means that the following players will all be available. The only ones that aren't, of course, are players out on loan. You can't bid on them because that would be unfair on the parent clubs. So, I mean, Koku maybe would be an obvious one. What the fuck has happened to Bernie? And that's the question we've been asking all season, Ryan. Who else? I mean, Petkovic has been around a couple of clubs now, never really found a home. Galasek's probably too old now. Anyone wanting to take a punt on a Dolphin, maybe? Can we have probably... Yes, Tato, of course. I was always going to do that. I'm just trying to find something to talk about as you all left me on my own tonight. Hall's a second, Jens. Oh, I suppose you did ask. I've already committed to Greavesy. Sorry, mate. You'll have to go second. As for tonight's team, no, not Hall's on last. Hall's a second. As for tonight's team, Robbie Keane makes his debut. Yes, you offered to do comms. You've had 3 days to offer, and you did it half an hour before kickoff, so no. Roy Mackay goes up top. Roy Keane makes his debut, and Ado and Johnson are in support of Vogel in midfield. Hello, football friends. Luca Toni, recently recalled from Churchtown. He is back on the bench. Last time out, they beat Devils 3-0. Did you, Ryan? You haven't DM'd me in almost a year. Did you do it after 8 o'clock as well? So we kick off the first game of the night. Dudley Hill at home to Locomotive Boston. Like 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I was already on. Sorry, mate. I won't check my phone during. I'll try and be that little bit professional. Almost half an hour into this, no goals yet. But certainly Loco look to be the side at least dominating possession, if not the chances. Or Lawson goes in the book. And there's Ebby Sand scoring. Peruzzi didn't move to give the defending champions a 1-0 lead. And there's Robbie Keane on his debut to make it 2-0. And they look for a third to wrap it up. But not to be. And a big end to the half there from Dudley Hill. You need to put your phone on vibrate. No, because you're used to moan about that. Dudley Hill, Loco had a lot of possession, it seemed, during the beginning and middle part of that half, but Dudley finished it strong, take a 2-0 lead into half-time. Dudley are back. Having a look at the home side stats first. Roy Mackay not enjoying life further forward. He's usually a bit more instrumental playing in Robbie Keane's position, but the new boy is taking precedent. Dede not as involved as he has been recently. Loco finished. Interesting, but you know, much will be expected of him. Luca for Roy. So he's been moved out of position, and because he didn't excel in 45 minutes, he's being replaced. As for the away side, it's very, very average, and the man who had to replace Petit is really struggling in midfield. 6 is all over the board. Klompe, Ramelow, who has been impressive since coming back into the first team, the only players really putting up much of a fight. Just wait Greavesy's confirmation of what he'd like to do, and then we can crack on with the second half. Looking good at the right time, Dudley. Yeah, they're in a good position and in decent form. Camp Makaleli. Are you swapping their sides, or are you leaving them out here, Greavesy? A lot of anti-Loco comments. I've just seen Rob's in the chat there. Looks like he's leaving him on the left-hand side. Let's kick off the... Yeah, keep like that. Thank you. Let's kick off the second half then and see if that if those changes alter anything at all. Another opportunity, and there's Evie Sand again, and then all of the time flies by before we're able to stop it. 3-0 to Dudley Hill, and Evie Sand, what an impact he's having. That's now 4 goals in 6 games since coming in on loan from Sloths, where he just could not get a game under Hodgie. Imagine how different their season might have panned out if they backed him. Condition-wise, not much there to worry about. With the game over, maybe Addo coming off to protect him from a red card is the only thing Steve's thinking. No, he's staying role. As for Loco, ratings remain as average as they were at half-time. Conditions, no issue. Absolutely thrashed it. Well, it does appear that way, Ian, but there's still a good, 12 minutes plus added time. Stranger things have happened in the Super League. Just me, or is there a noise of someone peeing on the mic? That might be the fan. Everyone else said they couldn't hear it. Might be the fan in the background though. So if anyone else can hear it, let me know and I will turn it off. Dudley come forward looking for a 4th. There's Sand on a hat-trick. 84 minutes now on the clock and still Dudley streaming forward. And there is the full-time whistle. Oh, God. Do you know what? There's been no cat references for a while, Ryan, so thanks for bringing them back. Boring content. Yeah, we can hear the fan ever so slightly. If I turn it down, does that make a difference? Oh, this is fine. Anyway, congratulations, Dudley Hill, who have, tripled the amount of attempts that their visitors have had, over triple the amount on target. Did I just draw 0-0 away? Don't like Bacon's mates. As for their stats, Evie Sand unsurprisingly getting man of the match, and that's solid ratings throughout. Keane and Vogel, the only ones getting less than 8. I'm not even beginning to read the rest of those comments. Luca Toni not really having much of an impact second half that Roy Mackay didn't have first half. As for Loco, Peruzzi's rating certainly improved, and they look to, despite conceding a number of chances, that defensively they did seem to get their act together a little bit, but Makaleli 5, Tudor 5, Ramelow 6, that's where the issue was. The strength in midfield just was not happening. So congratulations to Steve, who picks up a massive win against a fellow top 6 contender. Next up, we wanted to go to Halls. And a couple of changes for them. Pjanovic comes back up, as does Didier Gat. They come back into the first team. New signing Kevin Hoffland makes his debut next to Rustico, with Sol Campbell dropping to the bench. Vincente comes in for Mido, and Saviola gets the forward arrow. Quick look at their reserves. Obviously not going anywhere. Dalmat's not going anywhere. Tolly's not going anywhere, nor is Louis Zhao. But anyone's interested in the likes of Ricardinho or Kim Kallstrom, Adani, of course. Potential for if anyone's looking for a centre back. Last time out, Halls did get beat quite convincingly, looking at the score by Haggis, despite being a fairly even game stats-wise. I think I saw a tweet from the end actually saying that although the stats said it looked even, the text looked like Haggis were going to absolutely dominate, and so they did. Kevin Hoffland will wear the number 4. They're up against Gazelles, who change things up again themselves, and they do their version of what Haggis have been playing all season, because that's what everyone's decided to do. And largely due to they have 3 very key players to the way they've been playing suspended, Terry Smertin and Seedorf, has meant that the centre-back partnership that everyone's kind of been waiting for, through necessity, finally play together. Udeze and Mourinho, they are protected by Boateng. And then the Cut and Alex playing either side of Asamoah and Zenden. Ortega makes his debut behind Tomadira and Anelka. Jens, he may well be. If he decides to go, he may well be. Dems the rules. So game 2 of the night sees Gazelles against Hulls, another massive game. Both sides chasing top 6. And there's Van Bommel on 5 minutes opening the scoring. Huge night for Boateng. Especially given that you let Zayaleas go for no obvious reason. What's the best ice lolly or ice cream in this weather? DZ Roberts makes it 2-0. Well, see, in this weather, I'd say it's the orange burst ones. I can't remember what they're called, but the ones that are like pure orange juice in ice cream. They're not my favourite ice cream, but if you're looking to cool down, it's definitely more of a juice-based one than an actual ice cream and chocolate one. Obviously, virtually any Magnum is the way to go if you're just looking for a delicious ice cream. Quite posh. I mean, stats-wise, that's fucking awful, but congrats, Hulls, for being very efficient with their attempts on target. No idea why Dan lets me do this stuff anymore. I think he's saying exactly the same thing. I'm not big on the Roundtrees one. That's a great analysis, thanks, no worries. Twisters are okay. Twisters are okay. No, I prefer, like I say, like the pure orange juice flavoured ones. Soleros are nice. It's not the one I was thinking. I do have some in the freezer. But I can't just leave to go and get them, otherwise you'll just be having nobody talking. Martin already saying as is, without even seeing stats. Udeze is really struggling though, as is debutant Ortega. But again, very much like Loco in the game before, it's just distinctly average. As for Hulls, Contra having an excellent game out on that right-hand side. ZZ Roberts scoring with his only attempt so far, as did Van Bommel, of course, having an excellent game up top. Love a cider lolly. Oh, I can't say I've ever had one, if I'm honest, Ian. Just wait for Jens to confirm if he wants to do anything. How's the fan noise, by the way? Now that I've turned it down from a level 2 to a level 1, is it any better? No, it changes. Let's play to 60 then, and see if it can be a bit more of an exciting second half. Gazelles have at least had an attempt. Zenden getting involved again. And we stop it on 65 minutes, no addition. Looking at their subs bench, big fan of cider always. Worse, the noise is worse that I've turned it down from a level 2 to a level 1. Maybe that's a little better for you. Yeah, the subs bench is not very inspiring from Gazelles. Ortega's hit or miss, and you'll need a hit version. All I can really see is maybe some arrows coming in. Martin's saying as is. Thanks, Alf. That's an excellent commentary on that. I'll turn the fan off in a minute if it's really that bad. How was Ortega? Well, who was it that asked? Was it? I didn't spot that Wayne Oldham was in charge. Was it Wooder who asked who's had the most clubs? Just in this save, if you say Dragons twice, because he has been sold twice, Gazelles is the 5th club he's represented in this save. I can't put it further away, Ryan. It's the furthest back on the desk it can go, short of moving it to the other side of the room and having no benefit. Davis for Gerard, please. We carry on to see if Gazelles can play their way back into it. There was Ortega with a chance. And it's 3-0 as Van Bommel again. There were many questions whether Van Bommel will be able to replace Vogel. He certainly, in my opinion, has, though. He definitely seems to be chipping in with more goals than his predecessor. Swear to God, if this is still fan chat going on. Ortega best of right midfield. Leave the fan on. His fucking point. I know. It's fucking hot. Attributes look solid, Hodgie. I preferred helicopter over fountain, honestly. Congratulations to Halls. That is a massive, massive win for them. Gazelles created plenty, but failed to score from their opportunities. Having a look at their stats. I mean, Barthez 5 is rare. Daisy not taking the chance that was afforded to him. Boateng, Martin said it was a big night. He's failed to impress. What else we got here? Asamoah not quite as effective as Zenden was on the other side. And Nelka tried his best with what was afforded to him. If anything, for me, it's the lack of enthusiasm on the subs bench. Really, you know, that they haven't got anyone there, in my opinion, who can change a game. As for Hall's, Contra picked up man of the match for his performance, and again, just like we saw in game 1, plenty of 8s and 7s all over the shop. Got a 9 there for Zizi Roberts as well. I mentioned the impact Mark Van Bommel had been making since he come in. That's now 7 starts, 3 goals, 2 assists. Very, very impressive from him. Yeah, it is an old fan, so it will be squeaking a little bit, Duggan, to be fair. Congratulations to Halls. Like I say, massive, massive win for them. Gazelles will be hoping certain other results go their way. Otherwise, an already difficult-looking charge to the playoffs becomes virtually non-existent. Who did I want game 3? Who was the other one that wanted to go early, did I say? Oh, Maka, because he was pissed. Although I've not actually seen him in the chat. Ryan's here, so he can make any changes, because I'm sure Maka will appreciate that. So last time out, it's the high-pitched whine over the top of the fan. What, me talking, you mean? Last time out, Fulchester drawing with Gazelles. They have Nicky Butt back. And Gattuso has come back in for Van der Laan. Click on the resis on. Yes, I will. Interestingly, and this is definitely Maka not fully paying attention, Van der Laan has been left on the bench when replaced by Gattuso, not fit in the slightest to be on the bench. Lucio suspended for this one, and there weren't any reserve swaps. So Arca, I'm sure, is going to be popular. Could Jibril Cisse make a move? Still young, decent return in the reserve so far. Who else we got? Maybe Venegor of Hesselink, who's got 4 and 4 for the reserves. Chris Sutton, he's only out for 10 days. Widely considered the best of the reserve. Sorry, if the auction players ever signed, could he get one more move? Balde in there as well. Plenty of potential candidates in the Fulchester reserves. As for Dragons, Bishkan unavailable against his parent club. They made one change. Shit 24th man, or Salakovic, is known to everybody else, demoted back to the reserves. As the returning Zidane comes back in after his terminated loan spell with Haggis. They alter things up. I believe Duggan said that he remembers Maka struggles playing against one at the back. So he's gone with one at the back. Zayaleas makes his second debut. I believe it is. Yeah, second debut for Dragons after being signed back. Dyer is moved inside, and they play the 3 up front with John Carew finally getting a starting place, and Montella back as well. Quick look at their reserves. Their honking, says Duggan, and he's pretty much right. Salakovic is one of the worst versions of him probably anyone's ever seen. Nuno Gomez, at least is in some form. Maybe someone will consider a bid for him. There's not much else there. Maresca maybe. Last time out, they got beat by Bostock, and you'll spot that's what's led to the tactic name for this one. How the fuck are we still alive? Just. Let's see if they still are after tonight. So, game number 3 is Dragons at home to Fulchester. Fulchester going in early with an attempt or two. And there's Trezeguet with his 5th of the season to open the scoring. And Comandini misses an opportunity. And it's Sigalko on 7 minutes to make it 1-1. Carew getting involved again. Butt goes into the book. Dragons coming forward, looking to turn this game around completely. Dyer getting involved now, and Beckham, Van der Vaart. Must win for Drags. Yeah, I think Duggan would agree with you there. Sigalko putting it over the bar. As we approach half-time, Trezeguet into the 6-yard box, but he fails to score. Certainly both teams going at it. And on the stroke of half-time, David Beckham scores. And, Dragons with an attempt straight away for kick-off. But they fail to convert and end up going in 2-1 down. 12 attempts between the two sides. Much more interesting first half for the neutral. Class half indeed, Tater. Let's have a look at the home side first. Nice half of football indeed. No conditional issues, although maybe Edgar Davids on an 83 is a consideration. Decent watch indeed. 7s throughout, couple of 6s. Nothing spectacular, but nothing awful. So interesting to see what Duggan does with this. They have created plenty. Is this written in the stars for Zidane to come on and make an impact? As for Fulchester, you see the 8s there making a difference. I didn't actually mention that Yepes and Curtis coming in as a completely fresh centre-back partnership for this one. They seem to be doing reasonably okay. Zizou the fraud for Davids. No, again, Trezeguet would be the fitness consideration if Maka was here. I did spot a message earlier on 60 minutes. Any striker on a 6 comes off. Obviously, we're not at 60 at the moment, so don't need to worry about that. Any particular choice of vice-captain, Duggan, before I hit continue, or let the game decide? Zidane coming on for Davids. Being good in the air is essential tonight, says Davids. Being good in the air not generally essential. So many people have said, if you've got a strong striker who's good in the air, then he's going to be the one to score the goals. Get Dyer on the right, Duggan. I mean, I have to stay pretty neutral, Ian, but yes, I would agree. He's got all of his... this is his best save he's ever had, and he's done it all on the right-hand side, and he keeps getting put central. Zayat as captain. We kick off the second half. We reach the hour mark. Just as we reach the hour mark, Nedved scores his 5th of the season for Fulchester. Make it 3-1, and that is just about it for Dragons now. Do it at 60. Well, there's still time to get back into this. I keep answering the question that Douglas tactic may ask. Interesting to see. Maybe Heskey comes on just for a run out. Does he take Ian's advice? He is top of the table for a reason. Does he go even more further forward just to try and do something? Heskey for Carew is the answer. Is that it? Just that one change? If the belief was that Maka struggles with one at the back, that myth is being dispelled tonight, that is for sure. Thank you. As for Fulchester, the only player on a 6, surprisingly, is Nicky Butt, but he is not a striker. Again, I'd be considering Trezeguet, but no word from Maka, so I can't in good conscience do it. Van der Laan has actually lost a percentage sitting on the bench, which is quite impressive. So we carry on and see if Dragons can get themselves back into this. Trezeguet with another attempt though. Dragons are coming forward. Fulchester on the counter. 85 now on the clock. They're leaving it very late if they're going to do anything, Dragons. Almost too late now. We're into injury time. Sikalko misses another chance. And there is a full-time whistle. Dragons 1, Fulchester 3. It was even an even-looking game, but Fulchester dominating the second half in terms of chance created and deservedly go on to win the game. Although interesting, I tend to look at this and I always think if you're only winning half of your tackles, you know, Dragons have won 3/4 of theirs. Evidently, it doesn't matter in the end result, but that would be concerning for me if they're only winning half their tackles. They did do slightly better in the air. Dragon stat shot is getting an 8. Ehiog, the lone defender, getting a 9, despite conceding 3 goals. Zidane completed his passes, didn't do anything else, but he completed his passes since coming off the bench. Poor night for Kieran Dyer. Maybe he should have played on the right. Paul's been classed centrally as well, though, Duggan, no. Yeah, it's a fair comment, Ian. But you know, Duggan knows what he's doing with his Dragons team. He was one of 3 people to get them to a grand final once, so clearly does have an idea of what he's doing. Fulchester, again, another team with solid ratings throughout. Comandini doesn't get the recognition he deserves sometimes. He has got 6 goals in 11 games this season, and another 9 rating. Beckham getting man of the match for his performance. 8s throughout, 7's the lowest ratings again. Interesting to see if Trezeguet has a slight knock or not to contend with for the next game. But congratulations, Wayne Dade was in charge of this one. All the big names are coming out. We've had Ryan, we've had Wayne Oldham, we've got Wayne Dade. Congratulations, Fulchester, on a win that will just put the pressure on Haggis again a little bit as the tussle at the top continues. I think that's everyone who has to go on early done. So we move on just in any particular order. No reserve swaps from memory from Bostock. They just make a couple of tweaks to the 14 live swaps back to the bench in place of Phil Neville. D'Alessandro, please don't put me in the same sentence as the Waynes. D'Alessandro comes in, I believe it was Gonzalez who was on the bench last time out, but it's the same 11 that beat the Dragons quite convincingly last time out. Let's have a look inside the Bostock Stanley reserve squads. Gavilan's in there, although remember he's not Australian by edit, nor is Harasimovic. Huntelaar, however, is. If anyone's interested in him. Perlo's in there. He's had a couple of appearances this season, but not much at all throughout the save. Roque Jr. perhaps as a defensive option for somebody. He's the sort of player that I think could do a job if given a chance by somebody. But obviously Tristan again not going anywhere because he is with a club. We go into Sloths, who have Kivu suspended again. Desai also injured. What did they do? They called up Amoroso, who comes straight into the 11. They also called up Parthenov, I believe was the other one. And Cambiasso makes his debut. after signing from Churchtown. Cambiasso, yeah, Parfanova and Amoroso all straight into the 11. Valgarin, lucky to be back in the 11, obviously playing the Kivu role. I think he would have been on the bench had Kivu been available. Last time out, they got beat by 10-man Asta, although it was all over before Emerson was sent off, let's be honest. And they are now firmly competing with Northern Bern as to who's going to finish bottom. And apparently we're not having that game. That will be last. So we go to Leddersford and Northern Bern. Actually, it's a good thing, so I don't think I clicked on the slots reserves. Northern Bern, bottom, as we just saw in the league table, they have Totti unavailable through injury. So Robin drops back to partner Aymar in centre midfield, and the new signing Archie Back comes in to partner Brozek behind Kluivert in a very, very attacking-looking Northern Bern side. Last time out, as we saw, they were humbled by Churchtown. It started so well for them as well. They just looked to be building a little bit of momentum, but Churchtown took care of that. Let's have a look at what's in their reserves that might be of interest to anybody. Not much. Robert Pires maybe. Guerrero's still down there. Govu, was traded after the initial draft. Apparently did play a game back in season 1. There's not really much here that anyone's going to be interested in. Chris Kirkland, maybe. It's one of the worst reserve teams we've seen. Absolutely one of the worst reserve teams we've seen to date. No, you don't like 13s, do you? There we go. Archie Back, 49. As for Leddersford, Tato proclaimed their season was over after losing 2-1 last time out for Loco. So he said he was going to have some fun. Hold my beer. Actually, yeah, for your reserve side, I got dismantled through people just not wanting to sign contracts, to be fair, so you have hardly anyone in there, Rob. So he was going to have some fun and mix it up. He's playing one at the back, 3 up top, and a weird sort of imbalanced Tato-esque formation. Constantinou not dropped to the reserves and therefore will not be subject to a bid. I did wonder whether that would see a chance for Dragons to take him home. The answer was no. All 3 of the big name strikers playing up top together. Mark Kerr has a very important role, and Rayed back at last from the African Cup of Nations and back in the team. What's in their reserves? Obviously, youngster Krug is in there. Started at the beginning of the season, but then got dropped and never found his way back in. What else have we got? Castillo's been given a free transfer in the hope of making room for a signing, as has Christian, but they will be available should anyone want to make bids for them. David Dunn's been dropped down to the reserves. Could someone be looking at taking him on? Got asked what Dean Shields looks like on this save, and then I think the words is awful came back. Owen Hargreaves potentially an option, 25 years old still. He seems to be young forever on this game. So we go to Leddersford against Northern Bern. Before ball's kicked, Leddersford on 25 points. They really do need to be winning this, looking at some of the other results. Constantinu there with an opportunity for the home side, failing to convert. Rayed getting involved as well. This formation does seem to be creating a little bit. And there's Van Nistelrooy on 17 minutes, giving the home side the lead against bottom of the table. Constantinu missing another opportunity. Another one goes begging. Could Bern make them pay for all these missed chances? This is all Leddersford. Oh, and I just thought Bern were going to take it on the stroke of half-time. They didn't. One attempt from Northern Bern. As Ryan said earlier, what has happened to them? An excellent half from Leddersford, but you do just feel if they don't score a second, they could come back to rue missed opportunities. Rayed out on that right-hand side is not having a great time of it, but everyone else is doing reasonably well ratings-wise. Not much to worry about, and no obvious fitness concerns either, although we all know Tato says fitness is a mere standard first half from us before capitulation in the second. Yes, you do seem to attract that kind of thing. As for Northern Bern, Sander Vesterveld continues to impress in goal. I mean, you've got Aymar getting a 5, 6s throughout, as it's till 60. It's just, we seem to say it every week, but it's just very, very, very average for Northern Bern, and Ian just can't seem to get them out of this rut. Just wait clarification on if Ian wants to do anything. Michael Owen, the only attacking change available. Try and get back into this. Ian going as is till 60 as well. The first 5 minutes goes back without anything happening, and then Archie back scores to make it 1 apiece. And now Bern come flooding forward looking for a second, and on the counter attack. Oh, I thought Leddersford were going to take the lead again there. Constantinu with another opportunity. And it's Robin to be reaching the hour mark from this story, and it's a corner kick to the home side. Could say Roberto rolling back the ears with a 10-star performance. Although he is struggling a little bit because of that on 77% fitness. What will Tato do here? They have been pegged back. Simone Inzaghi, one of the reserve swaps, he's on the bench, as is Etsabaria. I found it interesting that Perry was selected to play centre-back, not even Leddersford's best available centre-back. Vieri offering Inzaghi. Vieri for Inzaghi. And Rayed for Etsabaria, please, and go. No worries. Paredes, another one who got called up from the reserves. He did start from the beginning and is doing quite well. As for Northern Bern, back in it, the ratings still don't look great, although Back and Brozek have certainly improved things from an attacking perspective. Cannavaro also working hard in the defence. Just looking at those yellow cards and wondering whether something might happen there, particularly Okoronkwo and Keane. But Ian again saying as is. So 30 minutes of this game left to play, and still anybody's to potentially win. Although Clivert has been taken off injured, so I'll just wait confirmation that Michael Owen is the man to come on. Of course, it could be that Brozek will back go forward, Aymar Robin go forward, and then one of the more defensive players are tasked with coming onto the pitch. I think Ian will stick with Michael Owen. Problem with no co-commentators, you do have these silences while you wait for someone. I'll save for Cliver and swap with Owen. Swap with Robin. Wait, so Robin's going up front? Don't want one of these guys up front. Just definitely confirm you want Robin up front, please, Ian. I mean, that's what it says, so I'm quite comfortable it is, but he's normally here, so I'm wondering whether one of these two. No? Okay. We carry on. Just slow the commentary down, still up in the air as to who's going to win this one. Another save from Vesterveld, this time from Van Nistelrooy. Constantinu! And the former Dragon does it again, his 5th goal of the season. He's scoring some very important goals for Leddersford now, isn't he? If he's already a Dragons legend, he's going to be something of folklore at Leadersford if they can get into the top 6 based on his performances. Byrne come forward again. Olasey! The substitute's done it! He had a dip, and it's his first ever Northern Byrne goal on 80 minutes. Of all the attacking talent Byrne have, it's Sunday Olasey who levels things up. Now Inzaghi, Vesterveld saves and gets it at the second attempt. What day is it? It's Sunday. Emerton, Zé Roberto having to come off. He's taken a knock. Frede, the only outfield player available. Where's Zé Roberto? Frede's. Any of these players left-footed at all? Who do you want out on the left, Tato, for injury time? Are you happy with Frede just playing out there? I mean, he's right-footed centre-back. Pointless yet again. It's not pointless. It's exactly a point at the moment, but you could score an injury time winner yet. Will we have an injury time winner? He's class at left wing back. Scally and now Paredes. He's fouled. Emerton goes in the book. And there's the full-time whistle, and not really the result that Leadersford needed. It is a point, but with certain other results, it's definitely looking more like 2 points dropped than a point gained. Huge though for Northern Byrne as they continue to try and find a way off the bottom of the table. Zé Roberto getting man of the match for his performance up until he went off in injury time. Scally as well, impressing in this new adapted formation. All the defensive players really looking strong. Good balance throughout as well. Not really a lot went wrong there for Tato. Just Northern Byrne had enough quality to score the goals. Same shit every week. As for Northern Byrne, surprised Vesterveld's rating dropped because he seemed to pull off save after save. Got back there in amongst the goals upon his return. Who got? Oh, Sarah Butts, of course, yeah. But decent, to be fair, from Byrne as well. I don't think Ian will be too concerned looking at the ratings. He might be worried about the amount of chances, but not a lot of teams are going to play this formation, so perhaps it's better suited to a more traditional Super League opponent. Moving forward, although it'd be interesting, the fact that Cliver has ended up on 0 condition, could that be a season ender? Next up, top of the table Haggis, entertain former champions and currently outside of the top 6 Devils. Must have suspensions on the way as well, says Ian. They made one change with Ventila back into the first team at the expense of Makoku. They also make a tactical change. They were playing 3 up top last time out. They now go to 2 behind 1. And you'll notice they're one of the only teams in the league to play with 0 arrows from the start. Not a big fan of that, but much more of a fan of the balance of this 11. Parlour to Leeds is on, says Dimble. No arrows for the win. Kuhl, who hasn't featured as much this year. 8 starts, 4 sub-appearances. He partners Etta in support of Henri, with Mpenza out injured. Still no place for Wellens or Thompson or Deisler or Gardner within the team. Let's have a little peek then into what is in the Devils' reserves. Melberg is being linked with moves everywhere. Tobias Grant's there. Jermaine Defoe. Makoku. Kennedy's there as well. Ray Parlour is only out for 2 weeks. Arrows will be out in force at half-time. So there are a couple of names there. Tommy Vertinen as well. He's looking for someone on that right-hand side. As for the league leaders, the runaway league leaders as it is, that gap we know has been cut to 3 with Fulchester's win earlier tonight. they go unchanged in their 11, unsurprisingly, from the team that beat Haggis last time out, which means KSAS continues to support Viduka with Bruno in behind. Zidane, the only change to the team, Zidane was on the bench until he was recalled by Dragons. So now their out-of-league signing from earlier in the season returns to the bench. Still no place for Alan Smith. Zidane's place in the 24 taken by Takinardi. So a peek into their reserves to see who might be of interest to anybody. Louis Saha, could he be going to Leddersford? We know what a fan Tato is of Louis Saha. Roman Vasilyuk, 20 finishing, 13 heading, 16 strength, very few appearances in Super League. He's had a couple of clubs despite never really getting a run out as well. Could he be the answer to someone? Michael Balak's in there as well. So there's a couple of players potentially within the Haggis ranks who could move as well. Devils fittingly wearing their Bolton Phoenix tribute kit with Ryan in attendance as we kick this one off. And Samuel Etu with the first attempt of the game. Devils starting very quickly trying to put the league leaders under pressure. But Haggis withstand it and start a couple of attacks themselves, get some set pieces. I'm a giant. Haggis certainly earning a few set pieces here. We're approaching half time already. Yeah, I think that was going in the book. Bruno with an opportunity. And we get to half time and it is still 0-0. I mean, all the attacking names seem to be there, but it's just been a bit of a dogfight. They've not actually created attempts on goal, although we are sure that Devils are about to unleash a shitload of arrows. All of these ratings, percentage ratings, I should say, look quite good from both sides. So, be interesting to see how that plays out in the second half. Defensively, unsurprisingly, Haggis looking strong. The 8 ratings going to their 3 outfield defensive players. But in midfield, Cole and Mendieta struggling against Bowyer and Ferguson. Also, Viduka and Bruno not as effective so far today as they have been for the most part. Evening, Macca. You won. And Ryan was here and made all your subs for you. As for Devils, very similar looking. Soroczynski is with a pick. Roque for Bruno, please. No problem. I'll go back and do that in a short moment for you. I find it interesting that Rob's definitely picked Nestor and Ayala as his first choice centre-back duo. And Montero can't even get on the bench anymore. Goodbye. Still plenty of 6s. Also interesting that Ferguson's one of those on a 6. So it's not like I mentioned that Mendieta and Cole seem to be struggling, but it's not like Ferguson's dominating them. I don't know if anyone else spotted it, but Soroczynski and Zauri chosen as the wing-backs for this one. I'm sure people will be a lot happier about that. Right, let's do these subs. So, Roque for Bruno. And then Devils, right. Arrows to halfway on all of my DMCs. Arrow forward on my AMCs. And Henri off Ventila. Let's kick off the second half. And it's Haggis who take the lead through substitute Santa Cruz. Devils level things up through Cole. And then all of the 60 minutes fly by. And we stop the game on 74 with the score at 1 apiece. Yapstam continuing to impress, but still 6s throughout for the centre mids and the attackers. Santa Cruz certainly come on and had an impact. We've only got defensive players though as options now, so I don't expect Haggis to do much, if anything, here. Rob already saying as is without even seeing his team. We'll just show it very briefly, just so everyone can see what's going on. As we kick off the remainder of this fixture. Yellow card for Mendieta. Free kick. Ferguson, but Duff gets in the way. 12 plus added time left to play. Giggs comes forward. Goes past Ayala. And Mendieta. Duff. Afraid, but gets it. Vieira. Etu. Still Etu. Casas is back there doing the defensive work. Free kick to Devils. Ferguson steps up, but Casillas saves it. Into the final 10 minutes. And a good save from a point-blank header. Now Etu. Both sides trying to win this game, neither settling for the point. Joe Cole from range. Frey with another save. Santa Cruz. Nesta gets in the way. And Etu was offside for the counter. Giggs comes forward now. Still Giggs. Santa Cruz! And the sub has done it surely. Oh, it's been disallowed. Viduka had strayed offside. Santa Cruz thought he'd won it for the league leaders. Now Vieira. Into injury time. One last chance maybe. Santa Cruz. Giggs. Joe Cole. And a free kick. Will there be time? Santa Cruz. No time for that free kick. It's the old database. And there's the full-time whistle. Haggis Hunters won. Devils won. And they scored for their only attempt on target. Well. Yapstam getting man of the match for his performance. And you know my thoughts when a player getting an 8 gets man of the match. On exactly how that's gone. I think Santa Cruz is unlucky there. He seemed to be involved in everything. Not to get man of the match just for his 45 minutes. As for Devils, Etu there, rating a 5, which again seemed harsh because whenever Devils came forward, he seemed to be involved. Ferguson not dominating in midfield, but Ventila certainly did come on and make an impression on the game, so maybe he will be in and around the starting 11 for the remainder of the season. But certainly a strongly battled point for both sides. Congratulations, Night Swanee. Enjoy catching up on the rest of the show tomorrow. As for Churchtown, it's travelled to Astor. Who am I missing? Oh, of course, Luca Toni was here. He no longer is. He's been recalled by Dudley. So that means they go without a recognised striker on the bench. Kaká called up from the reserves, as was... I'm missing one. I think I'm missing one. Oh, no, because they signed a player from Sloth's reserves, so that's why I'm not missing one. Materazzi does make the bench for his debut. Kaluzhny replacing the injured Petrov in the centre midfield, which means Mendes de Silva comes in to partner Tomazi. Mendes keeps his place at centre back as well. A little peek into the Churchtown reserves. Babel is the one that's been demoted. In advancing years, might be a put off, but he's certainly still got the attributes to do a job, maybe. Who else is there? Martin Palermo. Could someone give him one last outing in the Super League? He's had very little opportunity. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not as many because there's a lone spell in there as well. Arson down there. He had a run out, was it last year? Had a couple of appearances, got a couple at Loco as well. Juniors, not done too badly when called upon. Marvin Andrews there as well. Unfortunately, I'm sure Bumsong may have been of interest to 1 or 2 people, but he of course has that long-term injury, so will not be fit for this season. Last time out, we saw earlier they decimated Northern Burn to move them up to 3rd in the league table. Crucial game this for Astor, who have made wholesale changes to their squad that there's not a hope in hell of me remembering them all. as I look at this, I think Lennon's come up, Boamorte's come up, Peralta's come up, Donovan's come up, the young Bosnian's been promoted as well. I think that's it. Emerson, unavailable because of the red card in the last game, has seen a tactical change. And again, Asta played this last time out, and it worked really well. Are we at a point now where everyone's playing that same formation again, and we just need someone to learn how to beat it so that people start mixing it up? Because a lot of teams are playing this. A peek into their reserves, and Mark Vivane Foe, for those who aren't afraid to sign dead people. Mark Overmars is one that got dropped as well. Trying to think who else got dropped. Macera wasn't in the squad originally. Elmander's been dropped. Never gets a fair crack. Could someone give him one last outing? Emre's been dropped as well. Davies, he was due to be called up, but he's out for 2 weeks, so Alf decided against it. So could someone take a punt on him? DMC Emerson is there, as is Arellano. Ambrosini in a key role again, and no interesting Taribo West only on the bench for this one with Honsho partnering Brown. Frank will continue to be the main man, and DeVio, as we pointed out on Thursday, been in decent form since signing from Northern Bern. So we kick off Aston Athletic against Churchtown. Is Churchtown building up ahead of steam? Not managing to convert an opportunity yet. Aston now start to come forward themselves. 16 on the clock. Both sides trying to create opportunities. Jeff Palmer's given a few set pieces. Not liking some of the challenges. Another yellow card handed out there. And it's 1-0, and unsurprisingly, Hussein gets the goal. But DeVio comes straight back at them and levels things up for Asta. How many gone down, Alf? I know, Franca, and we said for a few weeks now what a season he's having. And the game has been turned on its head with Asta now, the draw specialist, taking the lead. And looking for a third before half-time. Unfortunately for them, couldn't get it. And the whistle goes with the home side leading 2-1. Churchtown creating plenty but not getting many on target. Asta certainly being a lot more efficient and creating plenty themselves. We'll start with the home side as we normally do, but we would anyway, because usually takes a little bit longer. Peralta, who did play in the reserves, maybe struggling for fitness a little bit, maybe a consideration for Alf. But decent ratings throughout, not too much otherwise to be concerned about. As for Churchtown, it's just 6s and 7s all over. Certainly not the usual level that we've come to expect from Dimbal's team. As everyone says, he has significantly improved this side since taking over, and this is certainly one of the more average performances from them. Collusion not having the impact from centre midfield that he had when he briefly played there in the last game. Boa Morte coming on for Peralta at half-time. Keep it, says Dimble. So keep it we shall as we move towards the 60-minute mark. Let's see if there's any more goals before. And there's Brujink to make it 2-2. And oh, how big could this be? Tamazi going off injured. And of all the key players within this Churchtown team, he is one player that Dimble would have been hoping did not get injured, and will certainly now be hoping it is not a long-term injury. Straight swap with Hakan Mild is the decision. As we continue on. Churchtown going to turn it round now. go from being behind to in front. So we reach the hour mark, and let's see, this is where the managers really earn their money. No real fitness concerns for Alpha there. Match ratings are fairly decent, 6 being the lowest, so there's not too much to worry about. I'd maybe consider throwing Rossini on for Youngberg and dropping either Devio or Franca back into the wing positions. But Rossini going straight up top alongside Devio is the move. As for Churchtown, they've got Materazzi and Hersey available for outfield substitutions. Again, no real fitness concerns for them to contend with. So I think Dimble will leave this as is. Hersey for MDA. So it's an attacking change from Churchtown as they go in search of a winner. Half an hour still to play. Let's see how this plays out. This next goal could be critical. 75 now on the box. Devio. Beaumorte gets it out to Youngberg, but they fail to do anything with it. Now Liverani. Brown, Rossini. Pluzhny picks it up. Every time Churchtown goes forward, Asta repel it. The draw specialists again. And Hersey! And the substitute's done it! At the end of the show, can you have a wee look at the form guide, please? Yeah, no worries, mate. The substitute has come on to potentially score the winner. Although Asta come forward again. Have they got one clear chance left in them? Liverani. Still Liverani. Now Franca and Brasini. 4 minutes to be added on. Can Asta do it? Absolutely nothing happening. And there goes the full-time whistle. And Churchtown with a huge 3 points that could just see about the end of Asta's competitiveness this season. They've scored 3 out of 4 attempts on target. I mean, that's an excellent ratio, but 4 out of 13 is poor. Asta just failing to really continue where they started at half time. Can't keep Churchtown down, not at all. I look at the home side stats. Franca getting another Man of the Match award for his performance. You missed Emerson. So, a mix of the decent to the average throughout. Nothing better than an 8, nothing lower than a 6. Neither of the substitutes really having the impact required for Asta. As for Churchtown, no Man of the Match award for them despite winning. Again, it was good in the end, but still plenty of work to be done from Churchtown in terms of getting the all-round complete performance. But as Ian says there, big win for Dimble. And that takes us back to what will be the final game of the evening, Spartak Sloths at home to Bostock. We did have a look at both teams. I'm sure, yeah, we had a look at their reserve team. I don't think I did with Sloths, so we'll have a quick look at theirs. They have got a shitload of players who might be of interest. Richard's just been dropped down. Gallas, maybe. Versatile defender. Danny Mills, Super League legend. Christian Poulsen, Super League legend. Pereira's just gone down as well. Not bad attributes at all. Played a decent part in their season so far. Who else we've got down here? Zlatan. 5 goals in 4 starts for the reserves. Could he get one last chance to impress? Alan Shearer's down there. He is knocking on a bit now. Torres, currently away on international duty, but could he get a run out for Sloths? Good season last year. Who else we got down here? Pedrinho's just gone down. Again, remember he's Brazilian though. Matty Holland, another Super League hero. Could he get one last run out for a different club? We saw Arca earlier, this time Arsa is also available. So for the final game this evening, we have got Spartak Sloths against Bostock Stanley, and we've got David Oxton in charge as we kick the game off. It's an early red card for Solari, sent off within 7 minutes for Sloths. I mean, the obvious change here is drop Amoroso back, I would imagine. And of course, Scott, if you're still around, you have the opportunity to change it if you want to counteract the red card. Risa could also come on. The foot golf derby. Wait confirmation for both managers if they want to do anything. I think Risa will come on for Sloths personally. More naturally suited to playing that left wing. Wouldn't surprise me actually if he did it for Tolly and kept the 2 men up top. Could also drop Amoroso back one. Nothing from me, says Scott. Hodgie was around and did tell me that he'd be watching the whole show live as he didn't have to go to work early tomorrow. So if you could just confirm, please. There we go. Danielson out wide, please. Just leaving it like that. Half an hour central. Thank you very much. Let's resume the action. 7 minutes on the clock. No goals yet, but Sloths already down a man. Carlos Shacks with an opportunity. Torres getting involved as well. Big ass this for Sloths. But they hold out till half time. And it remains 0-0. Only creating the one chance, unsurprising given that they've been down a man for pretty much the whole game. Bostock not really creating as much as you might expect them to under circumstances. A look at the home side. Unsurprisingly, it's the attacking players like Amoroso and Nielsen who's struggling. Ratings-wise, Lamy equally on the other side. So not getting the ball out wide much at all at the moment, Sloths. But no fitness concerns or a red card aside, no disciplinary concerns from those still on the pitch. As for Bostock, they just need their attacking players to offer that little bit more. Carlos Shacks is trying, but Ronaldinho and Torres certainly need a bit more from them. Defensively, they look fairly strong. Same for Hodgie, and I will presume it will be the same for Scott as well until 60. For anyone who missed it in the Super League chat earlier, D'Alessandro for Prutton swapped with Welsh. Thanks to everyone who's already taken the survey ahead of next season. As I said, we'll wait for a few more entries and then I'll amalgamate the results, and at the end of the season we can get together and say this is what I view it, pros and cons, and go from there. Tolly has given the home side the lead. Despite being a man down, they're now a goal to the good. And what a kick in the teeth this could be for Bostock if they can't turn this around. Look at the home side first. Pretty much all looking fine fitness-wise. No obvious concerns match rating-wise either. Everyone's ratings improving thus far. Aaron D'Alessandro, Ralph for Torres, says Scott, without even seeing his team. While we await, same again, mate, says Hodgie. Arrow on D'Alessandro. Ralph Torres. Just a quick snapshot there of the conditions as well. So we carry on with Sloths winning Now Ronaldinho, but he can't keep it down. Into the final 10. Our Sloth's going to hold on to this. Raul comes forward. Nigmatulin smothers the ball. And it goes out. And Raul and Ronaldinho. Again, the goalkeeper in the way. Definitely contender for goalkeeper of the season for me, Nigmatulin. Laney comes forward. And Pizarro! Oh, that would have wrapped it up for the 10 men. Cambiasso now. And Laney from range. 3 minutes being added on. 87 on the clock. Parfinov. Tolly. Pizarro. Left Pulis gets in the way. There's a yellow card, I believe. And an injury for Guigu. We'll see Ashley Live come on. I'm not even going to wait for Scott for that one, because that's obvious. And Raul. Nigmatulin does well, and Valgarin manages to clear. Played Hodgie before it's even finished, says Scott. Danielson. Tolly strays offside. One last chance, maybe. Cambiasso. Pizarro. Still Pizarro. Well saved. And there is the full-time whistle. Sloths, who had 10 men since the 7th minute, running out winners against Bostock Stanley, whose inconsistent season continues. And this one will really, really upset Scott, that he's not got anything out of this game, having so long with a man advantage. Nigmatulin getting man of the match for his performance. Cambiasso doing a decent job on his debut. Who else did we have? Parfinov, his first appearance for a... Oh no, I'm thinking of the wrong player, ignore me. Pizarro, he hasn't seemed to be in the headlines as much as he was earlier in the campaign. Amoroso doing well as well in the end. As for Bostock Stanley, super sloth, says Ian. It was okay, but nothing more than that. John Welsh, the pick of the bunch, with an 8. Plenty of 6s dotted around, a few 7s as well. But Scotty definitely needed more from his players than he got tonight. And that could be a real difficult result to come back from when you consider some of the others. But huge congratulations to Sloths, who watched Northern Burn claim a point earlier, so they go and claim 3. That leaves the league table classified. Astor 2, Churchtown 3, Dragons 1, Fulchester 3, Dudley Hill 3, Loco 0, Gazelles 0, Halls 3, Haggis 1, Devils 1, Leddersford 2, Burn 2, and as we've just watched, Sloths 1, Bostock 0. That leaves the league table looking like this. Haggis remain top, now 4 points clear of Fulchester, who themselves are 6 clear of Churchtown and Dudley, who moved 2 points clear of Halls, and Loco it is, just above the dotted line now on 30. Devils 29, and then there's a little bit of a gap, 3 points from Leddersford and Bostock on 26. Gazelles find themselves on 25, Astor the Dragons 24, Sloths 21, and Burn 16. So we're just starting now, perhaps. Are we saying Astor and Dragons are done? It's going to be very tight for Gazelles to do it as well. 5 games to play, 5 points the gap there. And are we saying that these teams are pretty much safe now? And it's essentially a shootout between Halls, Loco, Devils, Leddersford and Bostock for 2 positions? I'll leave that for you guys to decide. A look at the fixtures for Thursday night. Astor host Gazelles, Bostock against Haggis, Churchtown v Loco, Fulchester Dudley, big game that. Halls against Leddersford, crucial game that, both sides of the dotted line. Sloths against Dragons almost becomes a meaningless game. And then we've got Devils against Burn, the battle of 2 underperforming former champions. COCOM's available if interested. Give me a shout. Let's have a look at some of these stats. So the form guide, Haggis at the top, Churchtown second, then Halls. Devils move up to 4th in the form guide. Fulchester down in 5th. Look at Dragons down the bottom of the table on form. Sloths and Burn then just above them, and Loco as well, showing why their playoff hopes are diminishing game by game. Games without losing. Haggis now on a 9-game unbeaten run. Games without winning. Leddersford top that one with 4. Plenty, and then you've got Burning Devils there on 3, who, as we said, play each other. Some of the player stats. And Dye still top of the rankings, just 0.01 ahead of Yen Jeremy's. The race for the Golden Boot. Scalco 13, Hussein 12, Van Nistelrooy 11, Casas 10, Pizarro. This could be tight as well. That's the team for next Thursday, decided now all is lost. You might have a new player yet, Alf, that you need to fit in somewhere. But yes, this race for the Golden Boot I think could be an interesting one. Assists, Beckham now joins Seedorf at the top on 9. Contra not too far behind either. And man of the matches, a couple of players there, Seedorf, Kompe, Sigalko and Shevchenko all on 4. Thank you very much everyone for watching and for listening and for continuing to support the Super League. We are getting ever closer to finding out who will be the final winners of this particular save, while decisions go on behind the scenes as to what happens next year. But there is still plenty to play for. And don't forget, the reserve window, or whatever you want to call it, is essentially open now. I will... What time is it? Do you know what? Because I'm a nice guy, I will quickly go through now. I'll take screenshots of all the reserve sides and post them out there. So you have essentially 24 hours, just under, to let me know if you just want to make a bid for the players. And I will do so while progressing the game forward for the packs. So I will do that now. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. From 5 Feet Super League HQ, good night.